Please pardon any background noise you might hear. I'm not using my lapel mic. So I decided to transplant some of the Thai hot pepper plants from the pot on the right of the screen into this section of the garden. You can see there's 2 of them in there. No, 3. I also decided to transplant some of the Cajun bell pepper plants. I've got 5 of them in this area. All I did was just rip out the weeds and any of the plants that I really just didn't care about. I really wasn't using this section of the garden this year. I tilled up the soil. I dumped some compost in there, and then I covered it with some of the leftover topsoil and garden soil that I had. Just transplanted these in here. The raspberry plant that you see that's growing up in there was already there. I put down some fertilizer right before the sprinkler came on, and we've had a mix of warm temperatures and rain. You can see it's raining right now, but this section of the garden is doing really good. As here comes some more rain. All right, I had to run in because we had a short downpour, but I'm back, and this time I have my lapel mic. So you can see the bonus tomatoes that are growing in with the onions. I've got lots of big, healthy looking green tomatoes on there. They still haven't turned red, despite the fact that they're getting plenty of sunlight. Well, when it isn't cloudy. And today when I came out to the garden, the bonus tomato that was growing out of the compost had the top eaten off of it by something. I don't know what. Something also got into some of my tomatoes last night and ate about 5 or 6 of them. But I'm growing so many tomatoes that it really doesn't seem to phase what I'm harvesting. We've got more tomatoes than we could possibly eat. So anything that I found that's been chewed on, I'm just chucking into this part of the garden. Maybe next year I'll get some bonus tomatoes over here. The bonus tomato plant over on this side of the garden is starting to get a few red tomatoes. The smaller one next to it still hasn't had any tomatoes turn colors yet, but where it's at, it's not getting as much sunlight. The purple bell pepper plant in the corner over here next to these bonus tomatoes already has 3 small peppers on it. I'll probably harvest them this week. Some of the hot banana peppers have got these streaks on them. I don't know if they're turning purple or if that's some sort of plant disease or something else. I don't know, but I'm going to just keep an eye on them and see what happens. Some of the green bean vines have taken off, but they're a lot smaller than they ordinarily would be this time of the year. I just don't think I'm going to get too much off of them. But I'm really glad that something did finally come up because I just wasn't having a lot of good results. It seems like every year something just doesn't grow well. There's a red Fresno pepper. There's a little green one. There's 2 more that are green. There's another. There's 3 on this other plant. And a little one growing right there. The reason I'm not showing harvesting too many vegetables is because I've already harvested some today and a few days this week already. Still got some cowhorn peppers growing here. These are hot. They're very spicy. I think I'm going to have to pick these 2 because they're ready to go and they're close to the ground. And I'll have some jalapenos for Taco Tuesday next week. Bell peppers are doing really good this year. I've had some bad results with them in the past, but this year I've been really lucky. Same thing with the tomatoes. The tomatoes are just taking off. I noticed that some of the stems just die out. All I do is just break them off and just throw them down for compost. I'm guessing that's because of overwatering, maybe. Speaking of overwatering, this raspberry plant has made berries 2 or 3 times this year, but you can see the leaves are shriveling up. They're turning black. The raspberries are no good. They're turning dark. There's a couple other plants like that too. So I'm wondering if they're getting overwatered between the rain we've had and the fact that I've got the sprinkler running 3 times a day. But running the sprinkler 3 times a day seems to do well for the pepper plants. A couple Fresno peppers there. Something got into that one, so yeah, I broke the stem right off of that right there on camera. This sort of happens. I'm going to let these guys set out and see if they turn red on their own. And this one here is going to become compost. So I put the Fresno peppers, stem and all, over here on the stump from the tree that I cut down earlier in the season to bring more light into the garden. You can see I've got tomatoes up here. I snapped off this stem earlier today, and there's a couple tomatoes growing on it. Some of them have turned colors, and I've been able to use them, and other ones not so much. You can see this grape tomato is turning red, and these green ones here fell off as I was harvesting some earlier today. Unfortunately, though, something has gotten up here a few times and taken a few bites out, in which case then the ants come in and finish it off. So this will get chucked into compost. Another one bites the dust. It's okay, though. Still got a lot more tomatoes to harvest. You can see this raspberry plant's doing good. So not all of them are dying, but it's just kind of weird. Some of the mixed results I get with the garden. Yeah, I've got to prune this one. This Fresno pepper plant's doing good. And the giant Marconi has been making peppers. I harvested one this morning. This other bonus tomato plant's going nuts, and still hasn't had anything turn red yet, unfortunately. And there's a couple little buds and a flower on the Cajun bell pepper plant that was the biggest out of all of them. So if I can keep it from getting too crowded by the tomato plant, I'm still hopeful I might get something this year. And as usual, the chives are going nuts. So there it is, the garden update for Saturday, August 17th, 2024. Be back in about a week or two with another update video. Thanks for watching.